Somewhere in a camp on the open steppe, roughly 15,000 years ago, two species are sleeping next to each other. One of them is a wolf, or something that was recently a wolf, that has been moving closer to human camps for generations, that has been selecting itself, or being selected, into something new. The other is a human, getting the best sleep he has in weeks, not because the night is warm, not because the camp is secure, but because something at the edge of the firelight has ears that can detect movement at 200 meters, a nose that can smell a predator that hasn't yet broken cover, and a nervous system wired to wake the moment anything changes in the acoustic landscape of the night. The human is asleep, the dog is not. And this arrangement, this precise division of sensory labor across the night, may have done more to shape modern human biology, human settlement patterns, and human civilization than almost any other partnership in our species' history. The domestication of the dog is usually told as a story about hunting companions and loyal pets. It is actually a story about sleep, about who was standing watch while we were unconscious, and about what we gave up biologically, neurologically, the moment we had a dog to do it for us. The answer isn't one thing. There are layers here in canine sensory architecture, in what ancient sleep looked like without dogs, in the specific genetics of domestication, and in what modern research on sleeping with animals reveals about how human sleep changed. Each layer is more unexpected than the last. Let's go. Start with what sleep looked like for early humans without dogs. The received image is of early humans sleeping safely in caves, fires burning, predators kept at bay by the light. This image is mostly romantic reconstruction, open campsites, the dominant type of human habitation for most of the Upper Paleolithic, offered no structural protection from leopards, hyenas, or lions. Fire helped, but was not a guarantee. A fire burns down. A sleeping human group during the hours when the fire has reduced to coals is vulnerable, in ways that daytime groups simply are not. Jerome Siegel at UCLA, who studies sleep across human and non-human populations, documented the sleep patterns of three traditional societies, the Hadza of Tanzania, the San of Namibia, and the Tsimane of Bolivia, and published findings in Current Biology in 2015, showing that individuals in these groups rarely all sleep at the same time. There is almost always someone awake or in a light sleep state at any given hour of the night. The groups function as distributed vigilance networks. But the metabolic cost of this arrangement is high interrupted sleep, reduces cognitive function, immune performance, and physical recovery. The question is, what changed when dogs arrived? Because something did change. Here's where it gets strange. The dog's sensory equipment is not a modest upgrade on human senses. It is a completely different system operating at a different resolution. The canine nose contains approximately 300 million olfactory receptors. The human nose has roughly 6 million. A dog's sense of smell is estimated to be between 10,000 and 100,000 times more sensitive than a human's, depending on the compound being detected. Figures cited by Alexandra Horowitz, Barnard College, in Inside of a Dog, published in 2009, more relevant for the sleeping arrangement. A dog's hearing range extends to approximately 65,000 hertz, compared to the human maximum of around 20,000 hertz. Dogs can hear frequencies that are physically inaudible to every human who has ever lived. They can detect the approach of a large animal through ground vibration, through subsonic frequencies, through olfactory signals that arrive before any sound does. And critically, unlike human sentinels who get tired, who zone out, whose attention drifts after 2 hours of quiet, a sleeping dog maintains passive threat detection continuously. The alerting response, the sudden waking and vocalization at a novel stimulus, is automatic, involuntary, and present even in deep sleep. A dog does not decide to wake up when it hears something unfamiliar. It simply does. Now, let's tackle what this partnership actually changed in human behavior. Pat Shipman at Pennsylvania State University published a paper in American Scientist in 2015 arguing that the domestication of the wolf dog was not incidental to human success against competing megafauna. It was central to it. The timing of dog domestication coincides with the period during which Homo sapiens expanded out of Africa and into territories occupied by Neanderthals and competing large predators. Neanderthals did not have domesticated dogs. Modern humans did. Shipman's argument. Dogs extended the human sensory perimeter in ways that provided decisive advantages not just in hunting, but in territorial security, and specifically in nocturnal safety. A camp with dogs could maintain vigilance across a radius that a camp without dogs could only achieve by keeping multiple people awake. Sleep consolidation in the dog-guarded camp improved. Sleep improvement meant faster cognitive recovery. Faster cognitive recovery, compounded over generations, means better tool refinement, better planning, better coordination, the suite of advantages that allowed modern humans to outcompete every other hominin they encountered. Here's something else that almost never comes up. The dogs changed too. The process by which wolves became dogs is not a simple story of humans selecting tame animals for breeding. The most credible current model, developed largely from genetic analysis by Gregor Larson at Oxford University and published in Cell in 2016, is that domestication was a prolonged, multi-regional process lasting thousands of years, during which wolves that were tolerant of human proximity self-selected into human camps through access to food scraps, and the humans who tolerated wolves nearby benefited from their presence enough to allow the association persist. The selection pressure ran in both directions. The wolves that were most useful to humans, alert, but not aggressive toward humans, capable of communicating threat through vocalization without attacking, were the ones that survived and reproduced near human camps. The humans who were most tolerant of wolves nearby, who didn't drive them off or eat them when food was scarce, were the ones whose camps were better protected. Both populations were changing. The wolf that became the dog and the human that became the dog's companion were co-evolving. They were domesticating each other. So here's the part nobody tells you. The neurological effects of sleeping with a dog are measurable in modern humans. And they suggest that the arrangement is not simply comfortable, it is physiologically distinct. Research by Christy Hoffman at Canisius College, published in Anthrozoas in 2018, found that women who slept with dogs in their beds reported higher sleep quality and lower disruption than women sleeping with human partners or cats. The proposed mechanism is the dog's sleep architecture itself. Dogs have polyphasic sleep, multiple short sleep cycles rather than one long one, which means they are alert and repositioning frequently through the night. This constant, low-level movement and alertness may function as a passive reassurance signal. The sleeping human's nervous system registers the dog's calm, continuous presence as environmental information that the threat perimeter is intact. The dog is not just physically warm. It is a live biofeedback system for the safety of the sleeping environment. Something in the human nervous system, shaped over thousands of years of sleeping next to animals that were awake when we weren't, still reads the dog's calm nighttime behavior as a signal that nothing is wrong. We outsourced vigilance to them so long ago that our sleep systems learned to trust them, and they never forgot that they were supposed to tell us when that changed. 15,000 years ago, something at the edge of the firelight raised its head. Not a large movement, just the ears rotating, the nose working, reading a disturbance in the air 200 meters away that no human in the camp would have detected for another 2 minutes. It settled back down. Nothing came. The humans slept on. In the morning, they broke camp and moved. They were rested in a way that competing groups without this arrangement were not. They thought more clearly. They planned more effectively. They accumulated knowledge faster, and the animal at the edge of the firelight trotted alongside them as they moved, because this was where the food was, where the safety was, where its own evolutionary interest had come to rest. They were not pets, not yet. They were partners in the oldest deal our species ever struck: you sleep, I'll watch. And we have been honoring that deal, in some form, every night since.